Good morning, CSK, and good morning to all our friends near and far, and especially to Glow, Shine, Illuminate, and all our under threes. I had the pleasure of seeing one of our very young under threes on Friday, and that was absolutely lovely to spend some time with them, and of course their mum at times. Well, you can see that Birthday Bear is already here, so he is desperate to get the bag. So let's get that, because he knows that there are some names in here. These are the last names for July. Who would think that next Sunday we're going to be starting to sing August birthdays? So, are we in good voice this morning? I hope we are. La 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 la. Let's sing happy birthdays to the people in the bag, but also all those people that you love near and far. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Martha and Luca and Blake. Happy birthday to you. Give yourselves a round of applause. Beautiful singing as always. Bye for now. Well, how have you been getting on with your first aid for the soul box this week? Have you added some already? That's great. We started last week with Psalm 103, didn't we? Which we popped in the box after we read a part of it last week. But also last Sunday we heard Psalm 1 when Rachel was talking and introducing this new sermon series. So let's pop that in the box as well. So I've got a couple more to add because during the week I have read some Psalms at other times. So on Monday morning when the staff team get together to pray, which is via Zoom at the moment, we read Psalm 123. And then some of your parents might have been, and it might even be you, might have been on live prayer on Facebook on Tuesday, and we used Psalm 135 on that occasion. So already my first aid for the soul is building up, and we're going to add another one today. But before we do that, we're going to do our craft. So have you got everything ready? Now, I have got everything ready here. There are things all over my desk. So I'm hoping that we can just go through bit by bit. But of course, stop the film if you need to at any time. And also, if there's any part of it that you haven't got the materials for, think of other ways you could make it. I wonder if you've guessed what we're making this week. Well, let's see if we can have a look. So the first thing I said is you need a piece of paper. And the reason for that is you're going to make yourself a template, a pattern to draw around when you draw on the card. So what you need to do with your paper is just make a body. There we go, a body. And you'll need to draw around this one twice, 2 legs and 2 arms. So that's what you make with your paper. When you've done that, draw around it on your card. Now I've done it quite small. This is a A4 piece of card, and I've used about 1/3 of that for my pattern. So if you wanted to make that bigger, just draw your template bigger, and you could use the whole sheet if you wanted to. Also, if you're making one for every member of your family, including the adults, then it gives you a little bit more space on your card. So once you've got that, you need to cut them out. And they will look like this. And you can see I've turned them over so that the lines where I drew are now on the back. But you'll see that I've got some little dots. Here they are. So there's my body. It's got 4 dots, 2 for the arms, 2 for the legs. I've done the same with my legs and with my arms. There they are. So what do you think we're going to do now? Yes, we're going to make the holes. So before we do any decorating of our person, we're going to make the holes for the split pins later on. So as I said, it's a good idea to have a big blob of blue tack or a blob of plasticine, and make sure you've got an adult there to help you do this part. So best idea is to put your blue tack nice and firmly under where the hole you're going to make the hole. So can you see my pencil spot there? I'm going to lay that on the table, and then my pencil, my sharp pencil, is going to go through that hole, and I'm going to try and do that in a clear push. So you need to push it through and that's what happens. So you've now got a hole, and you carry on and do that the whole way round. So every place we've now put a dot, we make just one hole. So remember to put your blue tack nicely underneath it, put it firmly on the table, and then push through each hole, including the ones on the arms and the legs. Then we get to the decorating. So think about your favourite outfit you might like to wear, or well, maybe you'd like to dress yourself up for this occasion either. So here are my pieces now. So there I am. I've had a go at making some glasses. I've used a pipe cleaner, not a pipe cleaner, a paper clip. You can tell that, can't you? I've also, I'm going to be wearing my favourite CSK hoodie. So you may see that there's a little CSK logo on there. I've made myself some leggings, which are never long enough, and I've put some plimsolls on as well. So you can see I've now got the arms of my black hoodie, I've got my body, I've got my black leggings and my plimsolls, and I'm also, then when I put it together, I am going to give myself a little skirt, and I've just put some double-sided sticky tape on the back of that. So, and you can see that I've used some wool for some rather crazy hair this morning. I have had days like that during lockdown, have you? So I'm now going to put it all together, and again, get your piece of blue tack to help you, because I want my split pin to go through this hole here, and it's then going to go through the arm, which is going to be behind. So it's going to go through both of the holes. So I'm going to lay that on my blue tack, put the arm on first, and then I'm going to put the body on top, and I'm going to go through both of the holes that I've made, just to protect myself. So can you see it's now come out like that, gone through both of the parts, and in the very nature of a split pin, you're going to split it apart. Again, ask an adult to help you so that you don't hurt yourself in any way. And you want to try and make sure that the split pin is hidden behind the body. You don't want it sticking out under the arm. So there we go. We're going to have the front of the split pins on our body. So I'm quickly going to do the rest of those. So I'm going to do the other arm. Again, you split the pin apart like that and lay it on the back. So it's like that. So now my arms can move around, and try not to have the split pin showing from behind, like we said before. So, and then I'm going to do the legs. So you're starting to think of ideas of how you're going to do yours. I need to put the wrong leg on then. So there we go. So there's one leg. You see, it's coming together now. And my last leg. As I said, always have the body at the front. And then that's my last leg there. A little bit lopsided there. There we go. And as I said, I'm going to just add a skirt. Now I'm going to put my skirt across the top there so it doesn't get in the way of the legs moving. There we are. Oh, look, like I was just about to do a high kick there. So there's my person, but we're going to make something else with it now. Do you remember I said bring some extra wool? Either you could use the colour of your hair, or you could use some string, or I've just bought some pink wool along with me, and I've threaded it onto what they call a darning needle. That has a much bigger hole. Can you see? Has a bigger hole. So again, ask an adult to help you. And we're going to, on the back, we're going to make a hole here and go through just the arm part, not the body, just the arm part, and make a little knot, and then thread it across to here and come out the other side. And what you want to make sure you do with that is that you don't pull it so tight that you're crushing your body and creasing it, but it will just lie across from here to here. And then you're going to do the same with the legs. You're going to go through a little bit here and then over to here. what you want to make sure is that you don't go through the same hole that you put your split pin through. Okay, now you can probably imagine that's going to take me a little bit of time, so I'm going to stop the film for a moment and I'll show you the last bit after that. So my person looks like this on the front, and on the back you'll see that I have put a piece of wool from this leg to here and from this arm to here, and I've gone into the arm, round the back, out through the other one, and done a knot at each side. So into the leg, round the back, and out the other side, and a knot at each side. So you're probably thinking, well, why have those bits of wool? It looked okay before. So we're now going to run a piece of wool from here to here and then have it dangling down. And you want to knot it at the top. So I'm just going to do that quickly. So knot the longest piece of wool onto the top piece going across. Like that. Can you see? Yep. And then run it down and knot it onto the next one. If you've still got it on the needle, it's quite helpful at this point. So you want to go down the back and knot it on the back by the legs. And then do that securely. Okay, like that. And then leave this back bit dangling down. You can even put a bead on the end if you'd like to. I'm just going to double up that knot just to make it a little bit stronger. Have you worked out what we're going to do? What we're going to do with the piece of wool that's hanging down? So that's how my paper joy is now looking. It's got a piece of wool running down here and coming down here. And I then just want the final bit before I use it is to stick a little loop on the back of the head so I can hold Paper Joy without holding her arms. So this is what should happen. If I pull the string, there we go. The arms and legs should move. Let's have another go. Yeah. So if you found like I have that my arms aren't moving that much, you can make this a little bit looser along the back. Let's have a last go. Let's see if Joy can jump for joy. Right. I'm going to have to tidy up and let's dive into the Bible. So I hope you'll have lots of fun making your paper version of you, whatever clothes you decide to wear, whatever facial expression you give them, whether you have to make them a pair of glasses like me. I hope you'll have lots of fun with that. So why did we make that puppet today? Well, as you know, we are looking at the Psalms, and Sylvia spoke on a particular Psalm this morning, and it was Psalm 139. In fact, I've written it out ready to put in my first aid for the soul box at the end. But she read this particular verse, and I'm going to read it to you now. It's verse 14. I praise you because you are to be feared. All you do is strange and wonderful. I know it with all my heart. Now, in another version, it sounds like this. And it's good to read different versions of the Bible. So can you remember what verse it was again? You're right, it was verse 14 of Psalm 139. I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Your works are wonderful. I know that full well. Isn't that amazing that each of us can say that I am fearfully and wonderfully made? If you think for a moment, I'm sure you could come up with lots of things that make you who you are. Because as we know, we are all unique. None of us are the same. We might have things that are similar in the fact that we might look like a particular parent, or we might have a big resemblance to our brother or sister. I know very much that I've got my dad's nose. It might be that the way we approach things is very similar. We might be very quiet and calm like our mum. Even with those family traits, you are still unique, and I am too. So this is why we can read that psalm and know that to be true. I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Your works are wonderful, I know that full well. So I want you to think about that as you make your paper version of you today. Think about how wonderfully made you are. Think about the fact that God knows you inside and out. He knows every hair on your head. He knows the colour of your eyes. He knows your innermost thoughts, whether they be happy or sad, whether you have things on your mind or whether you just want to, like our puppets, jump up and down. But of course, God knows you and He knows me. So have fun making your paper person this week. If you want to send me a photo of it, put it on my CSK Children and Families page on Facebook. Ask your parents about that. Make sure you get their permission and they will help you do that. But let's just finish by praying and thanking God for the fact that we can read that verse in the psalm and know it to be true. Let's pray together. I'm going to get Glow there. He hasn't said hello for a while, has he? So here he is. He's been here all the time. Let's pray. Heavenly Father, I thank you that we can read the Psalms and it is true for us today, that you know each one of us and we can praise you. We can praise you knowing that we were wonderfully made and that you know us inside and out. Amen. See you next week.